Hi folks, welcome once again to Mr. H's weekly recap. We've been off the last couple weeks because of Thanksgiving and because of some technical issues here at the high school, but we're back, ready to give you guys kind of an update on what's going on here at the high school and what's going on here in room 1925. To start off, we've had some kind of messed up schedules the last couple days. Obviously, we had a 2-hour delay coming back. We had an assembly schedule yesterday. And then on Friday, we have Pathways Day, which is the underclassmen getting an opportunity to present their career shadow programs. So basically ask your students about those schedules getting mailed out, getting sent out through Remind and a couple other things. I've also been posting them on my social media feed. So in case you have any questions, just email and we'll try to direct you guys as best we can. Let's talk a little bit about what our classes have been doing. Let's start with the Gov and Econ guys. Right now we're in the midst of finishing off kind of our third unit with the course, which is a discussion of constitutional history, constitutional convention, but also talking a little bit about the three branches of government, both at the national and state level. So right now today, we're out of the legislative branch and we're into discussing the executive branch, talking about the presidency, and also the governorship here in PA. Recently, we were talking about the United States Congress and also our state legislature and some of the controversies and issues that come up with that and some of the similarities and differences in our discussion of federalism. Tomorrow, students will be having or I should say Friday, students will be having a fishbowl debate, our next fishbowl debate. We haven't done one of those in a while. We'll be discussing within the context of the legislative branch the debate of healthcare. And the last couple days of class, we've been looking at a documentary called Obama's Deal. It's a frontline report about sort of what went into the passage of the Affordable Care Act, some of the deals, both good and bad, that were done by President Obama and members of Congress to try to get that act through. It's raised a lot of questions and a lot of debate about some of the things that were included with the act. And so students will get the opportunity to give their thoughts on healthcare moving forward, and especially as we see a new president come in. What's going to be the future of the Affordable Care Act? Is it going to get scrapped? Are we going to see something brand new come in this topic? So that will be a really interesting discussion to kind of see where the students go. Students are also required, other than participating in the debate, also providing a reflection of the whole process that we've gone through in prepping them and also the debate itself. So that will be due on Monday, and obviously all the requirements for that are up on Google Classroom, and I'm sure if you're signed up for the Reminds parents, you'll probably see something sent out over the weekend just telling students make sure you finalize. We're also in the midst of doing kind of our final big project of the semester for the Gov students, which is the Student Cam video project. This is in kind of relationship with C-SPAN and a contest they run. We are putting together kind of 5 to 7 minute documentaries about different topics under this big theme of what should the new president and the new Congress really focus on in 2017. And so the lists of topics that students have put in are pretty diverse and pretty interesting. And so really good documentaries and documentaries that we really think would have a place in the competition. We're going to encourage students to put those in. There is scholarship money in play. There is the possibility of having your documentary placed on C-SPAN's site or aired on C-SPAN. No, it's not must-see TV, but it's definitely national exposure. And so we're looking to see kind of what students come up with and what issues they're passionate about through this project. In the world history classes, we have given back the first DBQ that we did on the Reformation, and obviously this is an ongoing process. Students are in the midst of doing rewrites if they so choose, kind of an optional thing. And then next week we'll be doing some peer evaluation with our second DBQ essay, which has to do with the English Civil War and the Enlightenment. Students will be assigned a person's essay that they're going to read and kind of evaluate through the system that we used for the first DBQ, the kind of AP modeled rubric. And then we're going to give them an opportunity to kind of correct some stuff, fix some stuff, and then submit them in for a final evaluation. So I like this activity probably better than me sitting reading all the essays. It gives a little bit of collaboration, but also lets students hear, you know, if they're doing something that I've said, hey, you might want to fix, that doesn't always resonate, but when it comes from a peer, that might resonate a little bit more. And so we want to give students all the opportunities to kind of fix and correct their writing, because a lot of these honors students might be considering an AP Social Studies class, APUSH, AP Econ, something like that, AP Gov. So we want to make sure that they're ready to go on day one with the writing and sort of what's expected of them moving forward. As far as content goes, we've finally started kind of getting out of the 19th century, entering the 20th century. We did kind of an overview of the Industrial Revolution as we start the new unit. We're going to be talking about some reformers and some philosophers that come out of the Industrial Revolution, like Adam Smith, David Ricardo, John Stuart Mills, and of course the infamous one, Karl Marx, and obviously giving you some insight into that. But then from there we discuss imperialism and kind of get students into the First World War, talk a little bit about the Armenian Genocide, and then move very quickly into post-World War II eras, talking about Israel and Palestine, talking about more contemporary topics, and kind of making just a mad dash to the end of the semester. There's so much in world history that we have to cover, and a lot of times I have to be very selective about what we teach, simply because we can't fit it all in. So there's always a few topics that I really enjoy that always end up by the wayside and always end up getting cut. And if we had more time, that would be great, but we don't. So we make the best of what we have. Once again, if you have any questions, whatsoever, please feel free to email, and we will see you guys again next week.